Here we go.
I mean, I'll just show up at your wedding.
Bro.
I am
30
back.
Hello.
Welcome to Clickbait Sports. I am here with 5 points vids from PewDiePie. We got Scooter Magruder from Mr. Beast and Urinating Tree from this channel
Keemstar.
has been permanently suspended.
That too. Keemstar. Let's go. Let's count right into the news.
Wow.
Listen, I get married in 30 days. I got my first marriage counseling premarital session directly following this episode of Clickbait. Things
Wow.
are happening. Things are happening.
Yeah. You don't want to have that premarital sesh. You can't have that. That's illegal.
What did they tell? Oh, you have your first session today.
Yup. Coming up.
So next week we
Absolutely.
can ask you what you learned.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want to know.
Ooh, today's
Inquiring
punishment.
minds.
Scooter has to live stream the marital section. It's the most invasive show on YouTube.
Hey, let's go 49ers. He got married 2 weeks ago.
No, what's gonna happen is the first time Scooter is gonna record it, and then Brandon's gonna edit it as a throwback to his days editing porn.
Ooh.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is
Multi
fair.
shots, lighting, the works.
But
Do you have a good venue picked out, Scooter?
we
Like,
do. We do
Yeah.
have a good venue. It's actually where I had my 20-year reunion. We're just running it back. Stop
Nice.
playing.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
I'm surprised Jerry Jones didn't invite you to do it on his yacht.
That was what I was planning to do, and then they were like, "We are booked that day." So
Oh,
yeah, I can't
That's a
so
bummer.
close.
All right.
do it.
Scooter, okay. If you had unlimited resources, would you get married on the Dallas Cowboy star? Like have the ceremony like right there?
Yes. What the?
Do
Absolutely.
you think that the
And
fiance
open
would
up the
agree?
stadium. Anyone can come as long as you're a verified Cowboys fan. Open it up. We got the live stream going. Stop playing immediately.
Okay.
Honestly,
I
dude,
lost my
go
info.
further than that. Don't get married on the star. Get married on the top of the scoreboard, and have the entire
Ooh.
reception up there.
You know
That'd be
what's going to
cool.
be interesting is the first person married on Mars. That is what's going to be very interesting. Well, what
Be
else?
Elon Musk marrying Jeff Bezos so they can become the unequivocal richest couple on earth.
Dude, they're not
And
even
on
married.
Mars.
They're just gonna join forces. You know, like how certain cells like form into one after a while. That's what Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are gonna do. They're just gonna form together as one and create one giant super behemoth. Yeah, like
Anything is
Godzilla,
possible.
and then they just destroy Tokyo and call it.
Anything is possible, and I know anything is possible because the Miami
The
Heat is
Heats.
playing the Denver Nuggets for the NBA championship. That's how I know anything is possible, because you did not predict this at the beginning of the year. Let's go, Brandon.
someone that
how
did,
are you
though.
feeling?
I mean-
Your hometown team is in the NBA championship, playing game 1 tonight. What are the
Excited.
vibes?
Excited. I've been watching a lot of Nuggets ball. Little nervous because the Heat are scrappy, and I don't like that. I don't like playing the scrappy teams. I don't like playing the hot teams. The Heat are hot. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but I think the Nuggets will handle business. I saw one of your takes, Scooter, that I wanted to discuss, and that was about old Dwight
we can
Howard.
get
Old Dwight
into
Howard
this.
saying he would not just compete with Jokic, but dominate him, something like
Okay,
that.
we can get into that. We get into that. But before we
And
get
you
into
were
that,
like, nobody talking trash about Dwight actually watched him play. BS. I rooted for Dwight and the Magic to crush the Lakers back in the day, and they let
Listen,
me down.
this is all I'm going to say.
Superman did not deliver.
This is all I'm going to say. This was the debate, okay? I said Dwight Howard also said this. This is how we even got started. Dwight said if it was between Dwight Howard in his prime and Jokic in his prime, Dwight Howard is dominating. And I say I agree with that because Dwight Howard is the closest player we have had to Shaquille O'Neal ever.
No,
Ever.
I'd honestly
It's
argue
Dwight
that
Howard.
Embiid is probably closer
No,
to Shaq.
You don't think
He
Yao
is not-
Ming?
You must be out of your mind.
Like Dwight Howard's a
if
talented
Embiid
player,
is
but
anywhere close
mean,
to
Howard
prime
is-
Dwight. Prime Dwight.
Prime
have to
Dwight
go
was
back.
really good. He's more athletic. But the
We have
problem
to
is,
go-
like,
we have to go
Shaq
back
was
and
just
watch
a
tape.
monster.
Because
That's the question.
there's no way you would ever compare Joel Embiid and say he's more dominant than Dwight Howard in his prime.
Have you
It's
seen
just
Joel
not-
Embiid when he's healthy?
It's just not. Yes, I've seen Joel Embiid when he's healthy. He's nowhere near Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is the closest thing to Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Honestly,
My
Let-
stance is this, though. This is my stance. My stance
Okay.
is
Okay.
Dwight Howard is way better defensively, right, than Jokic is offensively. Jokic is great offensively, but Dwight Howard on defense was way more of an imposing presence. He took over games defensively than Jokic is on his own. And you can even see this because Jokic needs help. He can't do everything on his own. He can't impose his own will. He needs a Jamal Murray. He needs all this other stuff.
He's
Okay.
a facilitator.
He is a
Exactly.
facilitator.
He's a facilitator. Dwight is the tater. He is the whole tater. There is no facilitation.
The
That was
closest
my point.
we have
That
ever
was my point.
seen to Shaq is actually Nate Robinson, guys. And the fact that you missed that,
That's fair.
a little embarrassing.
That's fair. But five.
I
what
want.
do you-
Yeah,
what
I
do you
want to
think?
run it. I want to unpack a couple things here. So
Unpack
Dwight
that
Howard.
and also preview the series for us.
Dwight Howard was great in his prime, don't get me wrong, but he was not the closest thing to Shaq. Shaq's game was to bully people down low,
Yes.
move people out of the way, and then place his genitalia on their forehead with a
Have
huge
you ever
dunk.
watched
Dwight Howard was like that, but like he did, like there'll never be another Shaq that just
Okay.
basically cleared people
You
out
said
the way
Dwight
that
Howard
Shaq
is
did.
not the closest thing to Shaq. Who is?
To me, Yao was like that.
Okay, we gotta
Yao,
stop. We gotta
a
stop
prime
that.
Yao
We got to stop.
could bully people down low and push them. Now he wasn't as complete as Shaq or Dwight Howard, but like Howard just never
You
struck me
just
as
said
a
Yao
Shaquille
Ming is
comparison.
closer to Shaq than Dwight Howard?
Yes,
I mean,
in terms of
okay.
just being able to bully people down low and establish on the block and just knock them out of the way and dunk on them. That level of game. Mhm.
Okay.
I just never saw, like, Dwight was just a power forward, not, that incredible big man.
So you must have never you guys have never seen Dwight Howard play basketball. That's okay.
We
And that's
have.
fine.
Told you.
He's a
That's
really
fine.
good player. We're just comparing greatness with greatness.
I'm not saying that Dwight Howard wasn't amazing in his prime. I'm just saying he was not like the closest thing to Shaq.
You said
that's what
Yao
we're
Ming was
arguing here.
closer to Shaq than Dwight. We
Mhm.
got to move on. We
Mhm.
got to move
You
on.
want-
'cause
let me
there's
just
no
smoke
way
that
you're
Skip
being
Bayless pack.
realistic.
All right, we can
Let's
move
see.
on to that. The series. Okay, now the comparison you want to make: prime Dwight Howard versus Jokic, right? Who on the floor though? Who is the overall better basketball player between those two? Prime Dwight
Dwight
Howard.
Jokic.
Because his defense is better than Jokic's offense.
No.
Jokic's playmaking is eons above what Dwight Howard did.
Dwight
as
Howard
I said,
would
Dwight
shut
Howard
Jokic
was
down.
better on his own, but
Dwight
Dwight
Howard
Howard
would
has
bully
averaged
Jokic.
a triple-double in the playoffs for the first time since Will Chamberlain, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
he's a
Jokic.
more well-rounded player than Dwight.
Sure. Not more dominant, more well-rounded, sure.
Well,
Not more
well-rounded
dominant.
let's-
equals
all right.
dominance, though. You can't cover the dude.
Dwight
It
could
was-
cover him,
Stats.
and Jokic could not guard Dwight. That's what my take is. Dwight could guard
Uh-huh.
Jokic. Jokic could not guard Dwight.
Yeah, the same Jokic that shut down AD. and
Prime Dwight
Rudy
is not
Gobert.
AD. Prime Dwight is
Dude,
Dwight.
AD was dominant in his prime, dude. He's
AD
up at the
is-
level of Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard is yamming on AD easily. What is y'all have not watched Dwight Howard in his prime. That's all this is telling me. Y'all just have not watched Dwight Howard in his prime.
I followed
What?
those shoulders. Oh, I followed those
Yeah,
shoulders.
yeah. Some
About
big
the
man
series, though,
shoulders.
tell me who you have in the series.
Mm.
Nuggets or Heat, 3 or 5.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a tough call because my heart says it should be Nuggets in 4 or 5, but at the end of the day, I feel that that like the Heat will somehow stubbornly get this series to 7. I gotta go Nuggets though.
Here's the thing. I don't even think it's a debate for me. I think it's Nuggets in 5. Bam Adebayo is going to get abused so much by Nikola Jokic. He's going to launch a civil suit. Like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be like Jokic is going to use him like an old dish rag down there in the post. Like, they have no answer for him on the floor. And when they do cover him, if Murray just stays semi-hot, he's knocking down those open because so much gravity is put on Jokic when he's down low. The only thing that can slow them up is maybe there'll be a game where Jokic gets in foul trouble. But
have y'all been watching the finals? Like, have you been watching the playoffs throughout the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's like, okay, so the Heat, right? They're up 3-0 on Boston, and then they drop 3 in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I watched a good amount of the games where the Heat kept losing. And the thing that, like, if they do it again, where the Heat get as cold as they did against the Celtics, the Nuggets will exploit that. And it's just, it will get bad for the Heat quickly. I think too much pressure relies on Jimmy Butler to propel them. And I think outside of maybe this first game, the Nuggets will actually have a better plan for Jimmy Butler. And I think they match up better with the Heat outside of that.
Okay, here's my take on this whole thing. All right. It's not going to be what Jimmy Butler does, what Jokic does, what Jamal Murray does. No. That's not what this series is going to come down to.
It's coming down to Caleb
What
Martin.
this series is going to come down to is everyone else. If you saw in the last game, Caleb Martin has been sensational for the Miami Heat. He is really taken over. He should have won MVP over Jimmy Butler. So to me, this is really what are the other people going to do? Because I tell you right now, if Caleb Martin continues playing like how he's been playing, if Max Strus comes out and he's hot, if Duncan Robinson is hitting threes, Jimmy Butler can have 11 points and it's not going to matter. The Heat are going to win. Similarly, what is Aaron Gordon going to do? Who are they going to put him on? He did a great job, in my opinion, on LeBron. And also, what is MPJ going to do? Michael Porter Jr., because he has been hooping in this series. So to me, that's what it's going to come down to. It's not going to be Jimmy Butler or Jokic. Jokic probably might average a triple-double in the series. He's going to get his points. But what's going to happen when Jokic goes to the bench? What's going to happen if Jamal Murray's off? Who else is going to pick up the slack? So to me, that's how the series is going to go. It's going to depend on the others.
I will say this. That's a great point you bring up, Scooter. When Jokic is on the bench, like, it's a completely different team. Just the way that the Denver has to adapt without having that huge body on the floor, it's very different. And that's probably where the Heat can take advantage. It's also a great story. I love the Heat story. They have 4 undrafted players that are putting in quality minutes and contributing. Like, I think Duncan Robinson, they plucked him off a farm somewhere. And Martin was, undrafted. Either way, I'm not upset with who wins, but I'll be happy for Brandon if they actually win.
No, it's crazy too, because like if it weren't the Nuggets, if it weren't the Nuggets, I'd definitely be rooting for the Heat. I like Jimmy Butler. And he talked about it in his press conferences last week. Like, him and Demaryius Thomas were friends. Like, and Butler would show up to Broncos games with DT. I like Butler's fucking. Oops, sorry, Scooter. Cockiness. I like his cockiness on the court. Like, that confidence. Like, if you are a basketball fan and you don't like watching a guy who puts in the effort that Butler does, then I can't help you. He's fun to
admirable.
watch when he's hot, but
Very fun.
If somehow the Heat
I
pull
disagree with
this
this comment down here. I think NBA storylines are very singularly driven, but I think the Nuggets are a really good example, and the Heat right now, of two basketball teams, and they're succeeding because of the teams.
Miami is the
Not-
epitome of a team.
Yeah.
Like,
I would
who else
say-
is there besides Jimmy Butler? Like, Tyler Hero's out. He's coming back in the finals. But the rest of the guys are guys that nobody's really heard of in the mainstream until now.
Here's
Max
my question.
Strus, Caleb Martin, Gabe
Do you
Vincent.
think they should let Tyler Hero come back, or will that mess with the chemistry that they've developed in this playoff series?
Has he gotten the oven mitt removed from his hand? Like, he has a surgically attached oven mitt right now.
Yeah, he just has a little
That's-
purple hat on his hand now.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm guessing they'll probably put him in rotation, but they'll probably won't have him start. He'll probably play the role like Kyle Lowry or even Haywood Highsmith's like minutes that he had in the last few games.
What about
Yeah,
your
yeah.
guy though, Scooter? Aaron Gordon. You
Okay,
miss
so
him?
here's the thing. This is
You
why I'm
miss him?
sort of happy. Well, I don't really miss Aaron Gordon. He actually made a backhanded comment, sort of insulting the Magic the other day. We don't miss him because he wasn't that player in Orlando. He was a different player. He took leaps and bounds forward now with his new team. But regardless of what happens, a Magic player, a former Magic player, will be getting a championship no matter what, because it's either Aaron Gordon or it's Victor Oladipo who's going to be getting a championship this year. So the Magic are on top, and our dynasty starts in 2 seasons. So just get on board, get ready.
Okay.
It's a
Because-
shame Oladipo can't stay healthy. That dude is talented.
Yeah.
Oladipo, shouts out to Oladipo. We miss you. We should have never traded you. I'm sorry. That's on us.
Yeah, the thing with Hero coming back, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, when he's hot, he's one of the most talented players in the league. But it's really hard to just come back in when you've been out for what, the entire playoffs, basically. He
Mostly
hasn't
just except for
stepped
the
on
first
to the
ones.
court. The other thing that a lot of people are sleeping on is Eric Spoelstra as a coach, and I've said this before on the show. He has just been one of the best coaches for a long time. I know he's got 2 rings with LeBron and D Wade, but since then, what he's done with the Heat, 2 finals now without any of those players, without any of, no Ray Allens, no LeBron James, no D Wades. Like, I just have to give.
Dude, he has Kevin Love.
That's
come on.
true. He does have Kevin Love. You're right about that.
The Heat definitely
need
got
to
the
respect
coaching
him.
advantage. That is for certain.
Mhm.
Brandon, were you going to?
Brandon, are you going to say something?
Okay, there is one thing I do want to talk about, and it is the fact that I do agree with the Nuggets coach in regards that, when the Nuggets lost, everyone was still talking about the Lakers and what the Lakers could have done, and I feel like they have a chip on their shoulder because of that. Now, though, with the Heat winning, I feel like that sort of goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
not like everyone's talking about the Heat. I feel like they're about equal, right? The Heat were playing with the chip on their shoulder. They're the 8th seed coming out, first play-in team to make it. I feel like they don't have that same like chip on their shoulder anymore because it's not the Celtics, it's the Heat. What do you guys think?
I mean, no, go Tree.
Oh, well, I mean, this is their first final in 47 years. Of course, they're going to get a chip on their shoulder. Most of these guys have never reached a championship. Even DeAndre Jordan, who had experienced incredible failure in both the Clippers and Brooklyn. This is his first shot at a title. So, of course, they're not going to see it as no chip on their shoulder. They want to win a ring.
Yeah, Mavericks legend DeAndre Jordan.
I talked about this with Will on our Broncos podcast, but I feel like the thing I kind of noticed is that I think like the NFL
KCP is
does a much better job embracing kind of like underdog stories, and or like when a bad team is good and they do get to the postseason and then they win in the postseason. It feels like it has been like a lot of, and I don't even want to say negativity, but just like commentators didn't want to believe that the Heat could keep winning, right? It became this thing. And the Nuggets weren't a real 1 seed. And it's the first time that the Nuggets have ever gotten to the finals. And that should be like a big thing the NBA is like celebrating. Like, this is a team that also, like, they drafted all these guys. They built their team without like assembling a super team and got there. And you could say like the Heat is these underdog players. And I feel like the NFL, like, that's embraced once a team gets to a postseason. And I use the example of like when the Browns got there and they beat the Steelers, like that was big news and people were like excited about that versus, and I think fans are excited. Don't get me wrong. Definitely here in Denver, but in terms of the coverage of it, it just feels like okay, I guess we'll watch the Nuggets and Heat play because they're in the finals versus like, dude, if like the Lions and Browns made it to the Super Bowl, that might be one of the highest rated Super Bowls ever. If they got,
I would love that. I would love that, and the Lions would still lose.
Ever.
The Lions would still lose that.
Would they really though?
So big. It would be so big.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think a meteor would hit the earth right before the Super Bowl happened.
So let's give some of our predictions, though. What do we think happens? We have to go on record. Who are we saying is winning this series and in how many games? I will start. Heat in 7. I've seen the NBA script. Heat in 7.
But the writers are on strike.
Yeah, that's true.
So
there's an opportunity. Nuggets in 5 for me. Nuggets in 5. By the way, Barry, Barry, I can't say his last name. He had the best tweet. It was like Lakers fans will be saying, will be complaining about the finals because it's Heat Nuggets because that's what they do at their job at McDonald's.
Ooh, got him.
Isn't he like a LeBron writer or a LeBron?
He is
stan?
a LeBron stan forever.
Yes, chat, join in with us. Get on record right now. Stop playing. Call it now.
I will say Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 7.
Okay.
Nuggets in 7.
I'm
Wow.
I'm the only one who
I
believes
think Miami's going to stubbornly keep around.
Yeah. I'll be a little scared if the Nuggets
believes.
drop game 1. That would be my fear if they lose game 1.
Ooh, I got to play the money line tonight. I'm going to bet the money line for sure.
Okay.
Tonight.
So we have our bets in for the NBA, but the NBA is not the only one about to crown a new champion. The NHL also has a South Florida team in the championship Stanley Cup series.
What's the excitement factor for this Stanley Cup Finals, Tree?
Well, let's put it this way. Everyone that is in Canada, Minnesota, or the Northeast, especially Boston, are very salty about this because Vegas has only played for 6 years. This is their second final appearance. And Florida, they've made jokes about them moving to Quebec City and 500 fans show up, or like people that just bought, they still have the tags on their Matthew Tkachuk jersey. And there are all those jokes going on. So one of those will be crowned a champion. And Sportsnet and Leafsnet, as we call them up in the hockey circle, they are losing their mind because there are no Canadian teams. There are no traditional markets per se. But I think it's good for the game. I think it'll be an exciting finals just to see where it goes.
I have a question, okay? Would it be fair to say, Tree and 5, our hockey connoisseurs, would it be fair to say Florida, the state of Florida, runs hockey? Is that fair to say?
They lost the cup last year, so I mean they might run the Eastern Conference, but
they certainly run it more than say Canada. Yeah, and with the inventors of the hockey. Yeah, I mean Florida there's back-to-back cup champions. Tampa has been in it for a long time. Florida actually won the President's Trophy last year, which is like the number 1 seed or the best team in hockey. Yeah, for the last 5 years, Florida has run hockey. I will say that for sure. I'm not saying, it's very similar. This matchup is actually quite similar to the NBA Finals matchup. You have the very underdog Florida Panthers who basically backed into the playoffs because Tree's Penguins lost to the worst team in the NHL.
It was for the best.
Yeah,
for the best.
on basically back-to-back days, allowing Florida to backdoor into the playoffs. Florida goes out and takes out the record. Imagine if a wild card team took out, say, an 18-0 or like a 15-1 team in the first round. That's basically what happened to Boston. And then now they're all the way in the finals. It's a great story. And then on the other side, you have the very villainous Golden Knights, who 2 years ago did some really shady stuff with salary caps and moving players around and acquiring players. So it's definitely a good matchup. Brandon, you want to say something?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. By the way,
Okay.
today's show it's like Grossi is here, because if he were here, he wouldn't have said a word up to this point. He just would have been just looking at his computer screen, being like,
Okay, Tree and 5. For those who might not be too into hockey, set it up for us. The Panthers will win if. Finish the sentence.
Panthers will win if Sergei Bobrovsky keeps playing at the level he is. He has been otherworldly.
Who is that to people who have no, or just hearing that name for the first time?
Sergei Bobrovsky is a big-time goaltender. He was signed in 2019 to a 7-year, $10 million per year deal.
Max.
Yes, pretty much. He was seen as one of the biggest albatrosses in hockey 2 months ago. He didn't play for their final run. He was out with illness. Alex Lyon was the guy that took over the reins. There had been issues with goaltending for a number of years in Florida. He was supposed to fix it, and then suddenly, once he comes in, he turns back to his Vezina form in Columbus and just starts ripping people's hearts out. He has broken, or the Panthers have broken 3 teams that have had legitimate concerns, and I mean, this was the year they kind of had to do it for all 3. So thanks to Sergei Bobrovsky, Boston has become the meme of memes. Toronto has broken itself and might blow up the core. And Carolina is trying to pretend they're not owned, even though they got swept. So, yeah.
Brandon, name a single player on the Vegas Golden Knights. Just one.
Or name 2.
Peter Pashinichov.
Yes, yes, Peter Pashinichov. I've heard of him before. Name a second player on the Golden Knights.
I don't know if I know any players on the Golden Knights.
Come on, man. I could probably name their whole roster.
Hold on, I'm thinking. Gary Gretzky.
Yes,
Gary
Gary
Gretzky.
Gretzky, also the starting right-left back on the Vegas Golden Knights.
Jack Eichel.
We got to play NHL.
No,
Yes, you're cheating.
You're reading them notes.
Barbashev.
Barbashev.
Stoner.
Barbashev.
Fuck the Golden
Stoner.
Knights.
Mark
Oh,
Stone.
sorry, that was just not
Yep,
a player.
there you
That's-
go.
They did draft Clayton Stoner in the expansion draft. And
Oh, yeah, that's
so
right.
technically there was a Stoner on the Golden Knights.
Yes.
Okay, same question though. Vegas will win if 5.
They get enough scoring. Like I said, like Tree said, Bobrovsky is big in the net. He's just had an incredible run. He's also been very lucky. And that's because he's good.
Who would be doing the scoring for Vegas? Who would be
Marchessault, Carlson. You're going to see Mark Stone get in the mix right there. They're going to rely on their big guys to kind of contribute the goals. Florida's going to score. Florida is going, like, Tkachuk and all of his homies, like, they are coming. They're going to fill the net up. It's just, I don't see where Vegas gets enough goals past Bobrovsky to win it. So I'm kind of giving the edge to Florida right now. It's going to be a great, fun series, though. I mean, you might see games 6-4, 6-5. Like, you might see games like that. It's going to be,
Is that tonight too?
fun.
No,
I
that's
think
Saturday.
that's tomorrow night.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday night.
So when we're doing the baseballs,
When we're down in North Kakalaka playing professional baseball.
Okay, this I feel like is a good time to transition to
don't
talk
know a
about
single
what some
Vegas
of
night
the
guy.
Clickbait members are doing. But before we do that, Tree, give us a guess, and 5, give us a guess for this NHL series.
I'm going to be completely honest. I think people are underestimating Vegas. Nobody's really paid attention to them. Aiden Hill has been excellent. Florida reeks of team of destiny, but knowing my luck, Vegas in 5.
I am going to go the opposite. I'm going to say Florida in 6. So one of us is going to look smart and one is going to look really dumb.
Oh, I mean, that's probably going to be me. I mean,
every day he gets up, he just looks at his stupid face in the mirror and he's just like, I got to go out and do this.
I know. I cried
Florida
myself to sleep
in 7. Heard it here first.
All right.
I'm going
Brandon.
Florida in 7 too, just so
right.
the Miami Heat and Panthers will win in 7.
Okay.
Team Florida, even though like some Lightning fans hate the Panthers, I don't really care that much. They're okay.
I think the thing is like when I don't know if you guys do this when I watch sports and I don't have a dog in the fight, I quickly figure out which team I like just by their style or how they're playing or whether just like I always just pick one and I'm just like, wow, I really like that team. I want that team to win. And it's almost instant every time. And then I'll just stick with them through. I don't know if it's that way for you guys, but I kind of feel that I'll be that way with Florida, just the way that they
Mine
move
is
and the way that
mainly
they
just
skate.
how many friends do I have that like that team? So, I got a couple friends who live in South Florida. Sure, let's have them be happy. Why not?
Okay.
But
I won't watch
talking
any
about
of the
being
hockey.
happy,
Zero.
we've got one member of our coalition, of our Clickbait coalition, who is very happy right now because he is raising funds for St. Jude. He's trying to raise $100,000. I believe they're already halfway. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They've
towards
hit
their goal.
50K.
Where in the world is Tom Grassi? We need a Grassi tracker. Where is he today? Do we know where he's at today?
He's in Chicago.
Yes, he's doing the NFC North, right? Like,
Yep,
so he hit Minnesota. He's already been to Green Bay.
Yep.
I'm impressed by all the crowds that have come out. Like, he's taking all these pictures. Like, if I did this right now, like 2 people would show up. They'd be like, "Oh, 5. I recognize you." Like, what do you like? They'd like one maintenance guy would be like, "What are you doing here?"
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, if I do that, I'd have people throwing tomatoes and bricks at me. So it works out.
No, that's only if you're doing stand-up. That's only if you're doing stand-up.
No, it's just by showing up. That's it.
No, he looks like he's having so much fun and he's just getting blown away by the support, which is amazing. And we love everybody out there that's part of the Grassi posse that's supporting this. And just, I mean, already 50,000. How much more good? That means that some child and their family right now is going to get cancer treatment and not even have to worry about it, not receive a bill, and just be treated by the best doctors in the world because of what one of our members of this show is doing. And so that's just great.
It's incredible.
It is.
And all the people showing up to support Tom, there's one that stood out above all the rest. This man.
Aww.
This man showing up in Broncos gear and an old school That's Good Broncos shirt. Dustin, you are a legend.
Also, I think it's
Shout
only
out to
fair that we all show up to his when he makes his tour stop, as that's what I'm going to call it, in our respective areas, that we all show out for him, which I've already cleared my calendar. So in 8 days, when he's in Maryland at FedEx Field, the worst field imaginable, that I will be able to meet the last member of Clickbait, which, I'll complete the Clickbait cycle.
All right, correct.
So, yes, let me know, chat. Should I go to Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, or Miami? Which one are y'all going to be at? Let me know. Right now, I'm leaning towards Tampa because it's the closest. Yeah. Does he have the dates up somewhere for the public?
Yeah,
on
I
his
think he
Twitter.
posted them. Yeah, on Twitter.
You guys should green screen it and just pretend you're in Dallas.
True. That is true.
I cannot wait
down
for
to
his
go to
Dallas
Dallas, too.
appearance. Yeah,
I'm
his
down to
Dallas
go take a
appearance.
trip.
Yeah.
Go to the Dallas Arboretum. I am a member. We bought year-long tickets because it was like $5 more.
Really? What do? You just walk in and like it's an arboretum?
It's like a advanced park. Sometimes they have themed days, like
Okay.
Halloween stuff, Christmas stuff.
Gotcha.
It's
Gotcha.
a good time. I like it.
All right. Is there anything else to talk about? Do you guys want to
Yes.
get
What
out?
are you guys doing? Please expand upon
yes.
what you
With
guys
the-
have coming up as
Yes.
well.
With the baseballs.
Yes.
Oh.
I've got stacks and stacks of jerseys. I've got my custom bat here.
Nice.
The old man, the Birdman
Ooh,
bat. I will be
That's a
taking
beautiful
this.
bat.
We will be in Burlington, North Carolina on June 3rd for the high school state championships, which are start at 10 a.m. and they run till about 4 p.m. If there's an upset or an extra game, they might run till 7. So me, Eric Sim, College Burnout, RBT is going to be there. Tree's going to be there. Giraffe Neck Mark is going to be there. A lot of baseball content creators are going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And and then the following day on Sunday at 5 p.m., there'll be a home run derby. The swingman is going to be in there. And it'll start at 5. And then the game starts right after. We're going to go 7 innings. A bunch of jabronis against a professional baseball team. So it was really fun last year. We got our butts kicked, but we're bringing it this year. We're bringing it hard.
Our goal is to suck less.
Perna, I don't know if you'll be able to commentate on the game this year, but we've got so Foolish Baseball is going to be there. He'll be in the booth manning it. So
When is
we'll
that?
have announcer. It's June 4th, starting at 5 p.m. if you want to jump in. We'll be using this StreamYard anyway, so
Okay. Tight.
Yeah. So don't do any reacts or anything. I don't think it's gonna.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, wait.
Hopefully that's
is
not
there-
during a Nuggets game.
Oh yeah, that would be problematic, I guess. Hold on.
Are you streaming those
Yeah.
games, Perna?
Yeah.
Definitely streaming tonight's Nuggets game. We'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Okay. What else do you guys have coming
Oh,
up
that game's
real
at
quick
8.
before we
Oh.
get to the countdown?
Well, I just released Hater's Guide to the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals. So nothing else for the rest because I'm probably going to be writing and then going to North Carolina.
Yeah, for me, I just released a video on how many major league at bats it would take an average guy to get a base hit. I actually faced major league pitching, and the answer is like a lot. Like, even if you had an infinite at bats, I don't think any of us would get a hit in the big leagues. And then if Will would get me my damn script, excuse me.
Oh.
Ooh, that them fighting words.
Yeah,
baby.
I have 90s NFL that wouldn't fly today. You know, things that used to happen in the 90s.
Do you mean the entire game?
Yeah. Huge shoulder pads.
Oh yeah,
I
dude, I'm
those
Those
behind
huge
on
shoulder
my.
pads were legendary. They should bring those back.
They should.
They need to bring back the stick'em. Stop
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
running back
bring back the
scoring
big shoulder
touchdowns.
pads, eyeliner underneath with modern eyeliner, and I'm bulldozing kids to get the foul balls. Let's go.
I
Well,
got.
if you're watching, get me my script. Sorry.
I got a couple of NBA videos coming out after the season. We are currently writing Hawks fans. Let me know what Hawks fans after the season say. I believe maybe OKC, and we'll be doing some reactions to these NBA Finals games as well before we transition to NFL fans before the season.
Whoa.
What about you, Perna, other than this live stream for this game?
I dropped a Nuggets video before this stream, and then I am behind on my Pokemon punishment. I was waiting for this jacket to arrive,
Ooh, it's a
so
beautiful
hopefully next
jacket.
week
That
I
is
will have
beautiful.
the wrap ready for
Just
everyone.
Funny story.
Beautiful jacket.
Uh-huh.
That was beautiful.
This would cost way more than a costume, too, everybody. So it's
Hey,
worth it.
That can reuse. That's the
fresh
gift
right
that keeps
there.
on giving, man.
That's
You can wear
amazing.
that to Tom's meetup.
Ooh,
Yes.
oh.
Ooh.
There you go.
Meetup spelled
Use the
MEAT.
noggin jogging, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Punishment time ends beginning now.
Oh Lord, who's gonna do the countdown? I don't know what's gonna happen here.
I'll do
We're
it.
gonna
I'll do
talk
it.
about-
Hold on.
Okay, you do it.
Ready?
Do it, man.
Ready?
9, 10, 11,
20,
12,
19,
13,
18, 17, 65, 84. 1 potato, 3 potato, 2 potato, 4 potato, or... Yeah, oh yeah, baby. That's right. I'm Tom Grassi. I'm raising money for charity. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't quit your day job, Five.
I quit my day job to do this.
Yeah, well, I meant this is your day job.
Yeah.
I made a solid $5.
Yes, let's go. I rocked a $21.99.
Oh boy, Brandon.
I'm at $24.99.
Ooh.
I'm at 64.14.
Tree gets punished.
Ah!
I was due.
I think for
It should be something for the baseball game this week.
Yeah.
ooh, yes. Should we
You
Have you
have
picked
to
out your
do a
walk-up?
TikTok dance before you hit the ball.
a
Before you're
gritty?
at bat.
You got a gritty on the field.
Gritty
The
Yep,
gritty.
he's
on the field.
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
grit-
no,
you
no,
want
no.
me to gritty on the mound before I start?
Just
No,
when you
that's
take-
how you have to walk up. You have to walk up by grittying at bat.
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
That's it.
He has to do that. I want a timed run of Tree running the bases,
Ooh,
and he
God,
has to try and steal a base.
Yes.
If
will
I
not
can get
get
on
on
base.
base.
Or he has
yeah,
to be
you
a
gotta get
pinch
on base.
runner for someone.
I can't. If we're winning, no way. If
Yeah,
we're like, if it's competitive, no way.
I'm probably the slowest guy on the team, so
Mhm.
no. Okay, you could have a snail, and it would outrun me to the bases.
Pinch runner.
No. Yeah, this is as bad as the idea of you wanting me to bat lead off and play shortstop last year.
I was gonna bat you lead off, but I didn't. So
Good.
Anyways, yeah. All right. Well, we will see everyone on June 4th. If you're in North Carolina, come to Burlington. If you are online, please watch us.
Yes.
Make
Also,
fools of
tell us we
ourselves.
suck because we probably will.
Yeah, we will
All
stop.
right. I got to get to premarital counseling. now.
Bye.
All right.
you
See you
next
guys next week.
time.
Break a